Average at best. Average at best. Average at best. Don't underestimate my skills. I'm not making up nothing, and that's real. Average at best. Average at best. Average at best. Don't underestimate my skills. I'm not making up nothing, and that's real. They told you that you were second best. That's why you can't rest. It's all just a test, like you will never flex. Let your mind stay rich and your heart stay gold. You don't have to be a trophy. You a story untold.
I wrote a book that's called Being Average and That's Okay, right? So Kevin Samuels got his big break when he did this video with this young lady. I believe she was she owned like a doggy spa, and she was making six figures a year, and she was out in the dating market, and she couldn't figure out why she couldn't find the type of guy that she really wanted. Now, mind you, Kevin Samuels had been doing podcasting for many years. You know, he's famous for his dealing with women, but he really did talk to men for the first 3 years of his podcasting career, and he would actually tell women this all the time. It wasn't up until he started talking to women that his podcast actually blew up. But there was something that he said to that lady that really stuck with me, that I really wanted to talk about and say to the world, especially because I do the body sculpting and I help people with their weight loss and, you know, just people really not loving themselves. I understand that, you know, you want to lose weight, you want to be healthier, you want to lose inches. But even when that happens, if you don't learn how to fix the mental aspect, then all of those efforts will be fruitless. So to get back to the Kevin Samuels thing. So during this interview, he talked to this lady and he told her, well, ma'am, you're average at best. And that really stuck with me. And I'm not sure why people are so adverse to the word of being average. What does being average mean? If you look out into the real world, right, if people actually stepped out and looked around their whole environment, they looked at the moms, the dads, the brothers, the sisters, the teenagers, is that most of the population is average. But people are looking at that word in the wrong way. And so when I wrote this book, I really wanted to put a focus on making average, the word average, being something that truly is okay. And this is a quote that I came up with is, what if I told you that being average might be the very thing that makes you extraordinary? When we look back in history and we look at all the amazing things that people have done, it wasn't about their aesthetics. It wasn't about being a 10. It wasn't about looking good, right? It was about what that person did. And what I'm seeing now, as like I said, my son and dating and things like that, is that everybody's so focused on the superficial. Nobody really looks at character. One of the things that I told him is that, you know, if you're a religious person and you like read the Bible one time does not discuss how anybody looked. It did not talk about how, you know, really how Jesus looked, and then talk about how the apostles looked, and then talk about how Deborah looked. Any of the main characters in the Holy Bible doesn't talk about what that person looked like. What it did talk about was what that person did. And so part of what I want to talk about on this channel is that we really got to get back to character-based assessments. What does that person, who is that person other than what they present on the surface? And just to really try to change the narrative of what it means to be average. There's nothing wrong with being average, and sometimes you can find the extraordinary in the ordinary, right? And so that's going to be one of the things that we're going to really focus on. This channel is where we're going to strip away the filters, the fake flexing, and the false narratives, and we're going to get to what's real, what's healing, and what's possible in your life.